Let's get ready to story!
Shit. No, okay, okay, no, we're gonna do this. All right, it's gonna be a thing. I'm gonna keep the microphone here because I'm not Paula Poundstone and I don't know how to do that. First of all, can we give another round of applause to Heather? Because that's like the worst thing you have to follow. All right, shtick's over. Okay. So all these stories so far have been charming and hilarious, and that's gonna stop. No, I promise you I'll try to make this as upbeat as possible. So I considered putting my name in for the wild card hat because one, I can never let an opportunity go by where I don't get attention. And two, because when I was thinking about the theme, I was thinking like, oh, what heartbreaking story should I tell? And I'm giving you a heads up. It's a bit of a downer, but it's not like Mr. Johnson touched me in like 9th grade. Because I said it was a bad story. Oh, it's about to get real, Scranton. I was 13, he was here on business. Okay, no, seriously. But I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about how many different types of love there are. And it reminded me, and I'll explain why I'm going to use this weird thing. There's such a thing from the Greek word called agape love. Agape love. And it means like brotherly charity. It's commonly used referring to like Christian faiths. I was raised Jehovah's Witness. Oh, no one's gonna laugh to that. That's not the joke. Thank you. Hey, Conor McGuigan, everybody. No, and this is not here to talk about, my cloistered childhood. I was raised in a very loving home. My mother, who is still a devout Jehovah's Witness, my father, they're still happily married, who is a golfer. They raised me to be tolerant and loving. And, my mother instilled in me the belief of question everything. Unfortunately, I didn't arrive at the same answers. But we love each other, and it's great. It's all emotional distance. No, they're great. So I am no longer. I don't attend meetings. I don't attend the congregation. And I was born and raised here in Scranton, Pennsylvania. So that agape love faith. So it has to do with referring to, it is the literal translation means something along the lines of like the love of God within one human that they feel for another human. So that's, I would raise to believe that and all that shit. That's great. I've never cursed on stage before like this, and it's really empowering. So about 6 months ago, I was at JCPenney, walking around, eating some Dairy Queen. It's kind of like breakfast at Tiffany's, but it requires no time of day. Just whenever you can get to the Viewmont Mall, get yourself some Dairy Queen and go walk around JCPenney. No, I was with some friends, and they were off in a different section. I ran into someone who, let's call them Mrs. Smith, out of respect for privacy. I've known Mrs. Smith since I was literally born. She saw me baptized at age 14 because it was a choice. Like, you had to make it as a conscious adult. And it was very pleasant for a minute. For like a second, it was real nice. No, when we were chatting, it was very sweet. And then, of course, the questions started coming, why don't you attend meetings anymore? What are you doing with your life? Are you not concerned about, your service to Jehovah and your commitments? And I tried to remain respectful because I know it was coming from a place of concern and of, Agape, she was, I was closer to her growing up than I was to some of my literal blood family members. And that's not an insult, it's just that was the kind of culture and community I was raised in. So I gave the most eloquent, my life has taken different directions, and I still maintain many of the tenements, tolerance, pacifism, kindness, honesty. I try to do my best with those. And eventually it got to the point, sorry, I'm giving you a heads up. It got to the point that in the conversation where all that she apparently had left in her little toolkit to say to me was, how can you believe that God could love someone like you? Oh, it is fucking on, Scranton. Yeah, from someone that I know since I was born, from someone who, agape, I don't know, I remember that. But I know it came from a place, and I know it sounds twisted, but I felt so sad for her that was her mindset on life, because then what do you think her self-evaluation was? How do you think her own heart felt about herself as a person? And obviously it wasn't easy to hear, and it was like, if I had a weave, would have been out. Never worn a weave in my life. Yet! So anyway, long story short, got out of that conversation really quickly. It's great seeing you. Hope all is well. Take care. Went home. Well, got more Dairy Queen. I needed it. I ran into her, and this really, I didn't even talk about, this is, I never told my family the story. Hi. I didn't see her for, I obviously didn't see her for a while. It ran in my mind, but I had other stuff going on, so I went on from it. I ran into her again. I've never run into half the people I knew in my childhood, yet this woman and I crossed paths, every twilight, like the twilight bark. So I ran into her, and it was really uncomfortable, obviously, because I was just told by a woman, how could God love someone like me? And then we chatted for a second, and I was trying to be polite, but I was trying to get out of the conversation. I wasn't going to have it. And then I remembered I had read something about her daughter falling ill, and her daughter was also no longer a member of the faith. And I asked her, how's she doing? What's going on? She gave me a very basic answer, all's well and good, left. I received a Facebook message about 2 days later from her telling me how sweet she thought it was that I asked of her daughter, and that she wanted to apologize for any hurt she may have caused. She went on to explain a lot of things that were happening in her life at that time, which were horrific. And while obviously it does not condone saying like that to someone, it reminded me that when it comes to our heart, when it comes to the pain that it feels, we are all disgusting contradictions. I'm a vegetarian because I don't want animals to get hurt. Ethiopian children made all my clothes. I don't know what you're laughing about. You're all the same. I don't know if there's that one person in the back who's actually, I hand make my own clothes. Well, then you're gross, too. Totally on your own disgusting hipster way, you're gross. No, I'm sure you're loving. But it's true, though. So none of us are perfect. Every story you've heard tonight and you're going to hear tonight reminds us that we're just trying to have the least sad death in the room. I'm trying to have the least sad death from that waiter. He's trying to have the least sad death, from the woman, from the accountant in the back. And at the end of the day, just roll with it. Because at the end of the day, aren't we all, and this is going to get super cheesy, aren't we all, connected? Aren't we all contradictions? Aren't we all hypocrites? Aren't we all vegetarians wearing slave-labored clothing? Aren't we all people who, I walk to work because I'm trying to help the environment, and then drink 10 plastic bottles of water a day? And when everyone was going nuts about the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, it's wasting water. How many times you left your phone charger in? How many times, Betsy, have you left your goddamn phone charger in and it didn't help someone with a life-altering disease? Last thing on that, I'm almost done. Shut up, almost done. And then I'm gonna get off here. Now we're back to Mr. Johnson. So, once again, reminder, we're all contradictions. We're all connected. We're all just trying to have the least sad death in the room. And at the end of the day, isn't that what agape love is supposed to be? Thank you so much.